Yes, boys, today's video, why you are not losing body fat. Here are 5 key mistakes you are likely making. I've made these mistakes, my clients have made these mistakes, and I guarantee you're probably making at least 3 of them, I would say, if I'm being completely honest. And if you watch this video all the way through to the end and implement these mistakes, I guarantee you this will help you lose as much body fat as possible, especially going in towards summer. And that should help you on your fat loss journey. If you are still stuck for whatever reason, feel free to click the link in my description and book a call with me. I can walk you through everything you need to know. But if you watch this video, you should be absolutely fine and should be able to lose as much body fat as possible. So let's get stuck in and tell you the 5 mistakes you're likely making and how to fix them. Now, number 1, biggest mistake is dropping your calories too low to begin with. Why? Your body likes to adapt, right? Your body likes to adapt to things, and if it essentially notices that it's in a calorie deficit for a while, what it will do is it will start to conserve certain areas of energy, and it will basically just get used to that kind of calorie range. Therefore, we need to be in a position where we can consistently progress our deficit, and if you pretty much go to the maximum deficit already from the get-go because you want fast results, and that's typically where it comes from, that's why we do things, right? You're just shooting yourself in the foot. So it's a classic mistake. If you go into a cut, and I hear it all the time. A lot of people would tell me, prospects in the DMs who kind of want a little bit of help. They tell me they're around 2,000 calories and they've just started the cut. It's like, you've just started and you're on 2,000 calories. And I find out how tall they are, how much they're weighing. And really they should be at 2.6, 2.8, 2.9. Why? Because you're trying to lose as much weight as possible with the highest amount of food in your stomach. The reason why is because, one, it gives your body somewhere to maneuver. You can basically keep losing fat sustainably, because what you want to do, right, is, let's say you're losing body weight, you're losing fat at 2,800. You want to pretty much milk fat for everything it's got. And the minute you stop losing fat at 2,800, you then go down to 2,700, 2,600, and you rinse and repeat the process. And that way you prevent your body from adapting, and you pretty much prevent plateaus from even happening. Now, what happens if you go down to 2,000 calories and then your body adapts? Where do you go from there? You go to 1,800, 1,600. But now the results are negligible. Why? Because your training performance is going to go in the bin. You're not going to be feeling good. And now it's less sustainable. You can't stay in a deficit for as long because you pretty much fucked it. Your body's now adapted. So you need to start all over again. So do not drop your calories too low. What happens is people see results instantly. If you drop your calories, you're going to lose a lot of weight through glycogen, around 2 to 3 kilo, which might be 5 to 6 pounds, and you will lose some weight, but eventually your body will adapt and you'll hit a plateau. And then you're going to probably be having to do a lot more kind of shitty sessions where you're just not burning as many calories. It's not a place you want to be in. So I would always recommend kind of doing more cardio to begin with, and the solution really would just be keep calories high, implement cardio as a tool, and reduce your weight, reduce your deficit according to your scales. Don't just do things. Don't just go to 2,000 calories. That's just the silliest thing you can do. Literally stick your deficit, stick your calories around 200 under your maintenance, and then just see what's happening. If you're losing weight, happy days, right? If for whatever reason you plateau, okay, let's decrease them. But the trick is you want to do it slowly. Again, if you drop the calories too quickly, you can potentially lose muscle mass as well. So it's not something you want to be doing. Reason why, you've got nowhere to go. So keep your calories high and use cardio and steps, expenditure as a tool, and that will really, really help you. That's a mistake I made. It's a mistake people just continually make. So if you can understand this will really, really help you. Any questions, just let me know, okay? Now, number 2, you're not accurately tracking your food. So many people don't do this. Like, it's actually a joke. And it's like, if you're wanting to be in a deficit and you genuinely want to take it seriously, and you want to get in and out so you can get back to bulking, and you just want to get lean as possible and you want to get shredded, then you need to leave no stone unturned. You need to be accurate, which means you can't fuck around. Like, when you're having coffee, you have the coffee black. You don't put milk in your coffee because that's just extra calories, and likely it is you're not tracking them. You don't cook your steak in butter unless you're tracking that. You don't add olive oil to the pan and then don't track that. Why? Because all of these extra calories are what puts you in a surplus, and then you start complaining and ask why you're not why you're not losing body fat. Because you're not in a deficit, because you don't have the habits right when it comes down to the small things. You're using cooking oils which have silly amount of calories. You're adding milk to your coffee and not drinking it black. Do you know what I mean? And you're using all of these crazy sources, and then you're wondering why you're not in a deficit. The truth is, everything's got to be accurate, okay? So you're not tracking things by the gram. The chances are you're not eating the right amount of calories, and therefore you're just messing things up. Because the truth is, if you do everything by the book, if you actually just track everything accurately, then you know that what you're doing is absolutely right. you're not guessing, you have clarity, and that's an amazing feeling. Why? Because it means you don't have to do extra cardio. I couldn't imagine what it'd be like for these people who just jump on the treadmill and then do like 30-40 minutes of cardio, but then don't track their food. Because how do you know your results just aren't negligible? Like, you could just be burning X amount of calories and then just putting them on because you didn't take the time to actually build out a nutrition plan or actually track things. So make sure, if you're going to be doing this, you're doing everything accurately. So the solution: create a meal plan. Find out what it is you like eating. Find out how many calories you need to eat, and create 2 meal plans. One on the days you train and one on the days you rest. Then buy a food scale. If you don't have a food scale, you ain't making it. End of. Like, I don't care what anyone says. If you haven't got a food scale, you're not going to do well. Simple as that. Like, you can't estimate. You can't say, oh, well, the bowl's roughly 100 grams. You're never going to make progress that way. Like, it's just guesswork, and guesswork doesn't get you far. So you need to have a scale. You need to track everything accurately, and you need to make sure that you're sticking to your deficit and you're sticking to everything. You're not guessing. If you do everything by the book, you just work a little bit harder, I guarantee it will pay off. And that's what most people don't do. It's why I'm going on a bit of a tangent here and stressing it. It's so important. And if you do this, I swear, change your life. A lot of people, though, they don't have these standards within them. They think it's unhealthy to track their calories, let alone weigh food out on a scale. But it's just like, I think it's unhealthy doing the same shit over and over again, not seeing results, all because you just didn't want to track things accurately. At the end of the day, this is a mathematical game. If you do everything accurately, you're going to do well. If you leave it to guesswork, then you might get there, but the results will be shitter. So my advice: track everything accurately. Don't mess around. Make sure you're not falling for these little hidden calories and you're just eating all of your food. Don't get any little tricks. Don't get any calories from liquids when you're in a cutting phase. Why? Because you want to keep hunger as low as possible. So if you're wasting precious calories from milk, from coffee, like, nah. And also, like, drink black coffee. It's better. It's just better for you. Higher test. Like, come on. And then also, olive oil. Like, olive oil is just the biggest waste. Like, you just 300 calories. Every time you put olive oil into that pan, like 200, 300 calories. And it's just like, that could have been a whole meal. But now, like, you've put that in, like, you're better off just using the 1 calorie spray. And it's just so much better. So just make sure, if you can take one thing from this video, hidden calories, track accurately. And that way, you'll make sure, but you're not putting yourself in a surplus from food and wasting all your time doing steps and cardio when you were just eating too much, if that makes sense. Now, number 3, you're not doing enough expenditure. It's a mistake I made. I was not doing enough cardio, and I was not doing enough steps. So 10,000 steps, I'd say, every day is minimum. One, it's just proven for actual health. You burn around 400 calories or so, and you should be aiming for about every single day. Remember, the calories and your maintenance calories are based on you actually moving like a normal human. Therefore, 10,000 steps should be non-negotiable. If you're not doing that, then you need to be building processes in your life to allow you to do so. Now, I'm just going to give you some quick tips. Basically, just walk after every meal. If you're someone who's not active, who works online, who works on a laptop, just basically walk 10 minutes after each meal. Walk to and from the gym if possible. Go for walks at lunchtime. Go for one walk in the morning, one lunchtime, one dinner, and then just do your best to get 10,000 steps. Try and find something that's basically useful that you can be doing at the same time. So what I like to do is sometimes listen to podcasts, take phone calls, take client calls, whatever it is, whilst walking, and 2 birds, 1 stone. Or if for whatever reason the weather's shit, go onto your treadmill and do whatever admin tasks you need to do on your phone. Watch some Netflix, just do it whilst walking. Make sure you're hitting your 10k steps. And then you also want to be doing cardio. And what I like to do personally is 5 to 6 sessions per week. Realistically, studies do show you need 120 to around 150 minutes per week. So you should be smashing cardio really 6 times per week. And I'll be saying around 25 minutes. What this is going to do is, one, going to allow you to keep your food high, which is so important. Like, you're going to be able to get shredded. You're going to get lean, but you're still going to be eating a lot of food, and you're going to be getting fitter. So it's in your interest to be doing more cardio. And if we just get you doing 5 to 6 sessions per week and 10,000 steps, it's going to become your standard. Like, it might be hard at first, but then it becomes easy. Like, I do cardio every single day for 35 minutes, and it's like just normal to me. Before it would have been alien, but now it's just fucking normal because it's my standard. So you might be a little bit alarmed, like, oh, I can't do cardio 6 days a week. It's like, try it, and then you realize eventually you will be able to. And the benefits are crazy. Obviously, your heart health, your HRV, everything's going to improve. Your fitness is going to be amazing, but you're also going to be able to burn more calories, and you'll be able to eat more food. And that's kind of the key here. So what I would say is create steps and cardio structure alongside your deficit from food. You can't just put yourself in a calorie deficit. You want to use both. And I would recommend, honestly, 6 sessions of cardio to start with, depend on kind of where you're at in your journey, and 10,000 steps minimum. And then let's progress as we go. Now, the next mistake is not tracking your weight properly. Now, accuracy is key. I'll always talk about it, right? And I made the most amount of progress in my life when I had a scale that was in my bathroom that I'd weigh myself on every single day. I made the least amount of progress when I didn't have a scale and I'd weigh myself at the gym every now and then, and it was never ever accurate. Now, the truth is, if you actually want to be in charge of your progress and make sure you're losing as much fat as possible, you need to weigh yourself every single day. You need to make sure that weight reading is accurate. Now, the only way you're going to do that is if you have a consistent time that you weigh yourself. So you do that first thing in the morning when you haven't eaten any food. So now we've got a level of consistency there. Ideally, after you've gone to the toilet as well, so there's literally no food in your stomach, and that's going to be your true weight reading. Now, the big mistake people make is they don't have a scale and they just cheap out and then they just do it at the gym, right? But the problem is, if you're smart and you want to train well, you're going to drink a lot of water and you're going to eat food because you want to be hydrated and fueled for that gym session. So that weight reading will never ever be accurate. Therefore, your results will never ever be accurate, and you'll find it hard to accurately lose fat because you don't even know if you're losing weight or not. So it's just like, you'll notice one thing from this video, this common theme, is like you're missing really, really small tricks that are changing everything. It's just like going the extra mile. It's like if you have the food scale, if you have the weigh-in scale, if you have all of these little tricks, I swear everything changes. It's just having no standards. But it's like if you weigh yourself at the gym and you do it after your sessions, you do it every now and then, you're not going to make it. So you need to make sure that you track your weight daily on a scale, fasted every single morning. Why? It removes errors from fluctuations. Like there's going to be some days where your salt intake is higher, therefore you retain more water. So at the end of the day, your weight might be a bit higher on one day, but then it might come down the next day. And then we go off averages based on the week. If I have a client who checks in on Sunday, and he only checks in on Sunday in terms of his weight could be one reading on Sunday, and it could be a complete different reading the day before. And it's like, I can't go off that as a coach. I need the most accurate data. So I go off the averages of for 7 days. And that's why we want to basically be weighing ourselves daily and doing it on nose. Not at the gym, not after you work out, first thing in the morning. So solution, buy a scale, track it daily on notes and record it, and then use that as your strategy to know whether you're losing fat, and if you're not, what you need to be doing. The data is key. Remember, data is everything. And finally, you're not progressing your deficit properly. So now that you've got all of those sorted, now you know how to actually track your weight. Now you actually know how to do everything by the book. It's important that you actually progress your deficit accordingly. So let's say, for example, you're doing exactly what I just said. You listened to Gabriel, and basically what you did was you tracked your weight. And now you've noticed that for the last week or so, you've been 70 kg. So what I would do is I wouldn't make any drastic changes until I see 7 days of a sort of plateau. 70 kg, we're not budging. So what needs to change? Well, something needs to happen. You need to either decrease the food or you need to increase the expenditure. Now, dependent on where you're at, let's just assume you're at, let's say, 2,700 calories. I would probably drop the calories first. I'd say, okay, let's go down to 2,500 here. Why? Because it's not going to be too much of a difference. 2,500 is quite a lot. I'd then see what's happening there with weight. If it's going down, happy days. For next week, just to prevent plateaus and waiting for things to happen again, I would essentially up cardio. And what I would do is I basically, and it's really, really difficult to kind of just tell you a bog standard thing. You have to like look at the data. But what I would do is basically decrease food, increase cardio, and then increase cardio. So if I did like week 1, decrease food, week 2, increase cardio, week 3, increase cardio, and week 4, I'd probably decrease food again. So I'd increase my cardio twice, 2 to 3 times before decreasing my food, because I want to keep my food nice and high. And the reason why is it's just easier, burn more calories and more food in the system than vice versa. So instead, rely on more expenditure as a tool. You don't want to be going sub 2,000. So if we can keep our calories as high as possible, happy days. And yeah, that'd be the solution. Just drop your calories and your cardio each week. So obviously increase your cardio and drop your calories each week, depending on your progress or if progress stalls. And sometimes you want to be preempting it. So like, don't just always wait for yourself to plateau. Like if you feel like you're gonna plateau, make sure you just implement changes every single week. And unless progress is really, really fast. And that's kind of what you want to be doing in terms of fat loss phase. And I guarantee if you fix all of those mistakes, you're going to lose much more fat. Now, if you are someone who just wants to cut the shit and you are seriously just wanting to lose as much fat as possible, or just get in shape, like guaranteed for summer, then reach out to me, link in the description. I will literally just take you through the exact process and show you how I do things with my own physique. Like if you follow me on Instagram, I'm literally documenting my whole journey. I've lost like 5, maybe 6 kilo in like the last 7 weeks. I'm going to do it again in 7 weeks. So I'm proving to you that this shit is, I wouldn't say easy, but it's simple. Like when someone knows how to do it, like I do this for a living. So if you do want the help and you just want someone to walk you through it, book a call in the link below. But if you want to go and do it by yourself, these are the best tips that honestly anyone's really going to give you, because no one gave me these tips and I've researched everything. So this is kind of from trial and error, from mistakes, from being coached by someone, from understanding the whole principles. So if you implement them, have an open mind and actually try them, or book a call with me and find out a little bit more, I guarantee you will make more progress. That's my goal with this channel, boys. Just literally getting you all making as much progress, giving as much value as possible. Like, it's Saturday at 7:40. I literally have like food poisoning at the moment. I feel terrible, but I don't miss. Like, one thing I always say is my worst day will be someone's best day, and the reason why is because I make sure we keep standards high. And I said to myself, I'm not going to miss for at least the first half of the year. I'm not going to miss a single daily video. So no matter what happens, videos will keep going every single day. But enough of the tangent. I'll get to bed now. Guys, it's been an amazing video. I hope you enjoyed that. Any questions, you know where to find me. Other than that, like and subscribe if you found that useful. I'll be back again tomorrow. All the best.